everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Kat. In this video, I want to talk about the topic that actually I haven't touched upon for a while, which is medical science liaison. I know many of you are very interested in this profession. One of the questions that I get frequently is asking about the salary. How much do medical science liaison get paid? How do you compare that with a consultant salary, for example? Or I want to be a scientist in a biopharma company, but I really don't know how the salary that I'm getting compared to a medical science liaison job. Salary is always one of the many things that people consider when they apply for a job or just considering if they should pursue that type of jobs, right? So I think it is important for us to discuss in this channel how much do MSLs get paid. If you are new to my channel, I'm Catherine. I got my PhD in a top grad school in the United States. Now I work as a full-time healthcare strategy consultant. On my channel, I talk about different career options for advanced degree holders, such as healthcare consulting or medical science liaison. Without further ado, let's get started. I know my video about medical science liaison and having the conversation with Tony has gotten a lot of attention. A lot of you are very interested in this career path. And just to recap for people who don't really understand what is a medical science liaison, I have a very, very short background information for you guys. So medical science liaisons, they mediate between the healthcare professional and the medical researchers. They provide information about the latest research developments, up-to-date approaches to different diseases, particularly the ones that their company working on, and the results of the latest clinical trials. So these professionals, their day-to-day work includes going to different conferences to broadcast their clinical trial work of the particular drug and partner with the drug development team to educate medical professionals what latest products are. And that means they have to go to doctor's office, they have to go to different research buildings to really bridge the two. Essentially, a medical science liaison's job is to translate the difficult language from the drug development and research to their clients. And that means that requires very, very strong communication skills, a very solid scientific background and clinical research background. And of course, because their job requires them to travel quite a bit, meaning that they need a very good personality, very approachable, but at the same time, being professional. From this very short and fast recap of what medical science liaison do, you can tell that their job is not easy. It's a lot of different type of skills, the soft skills, building, personal relationships, as well as very strong scientific clinical background, meaning this job requires years of medical or research training. All these combined means a high salary. And when we talk about salary, of course, it varies by the type of company that you work for. For example, is it a small biotech versus a large biopharma company, right? You can imagine a smaller biotech with only 1 or 2 drugs in clinical trial might pay a little bit less than a large pharma that have billions of dollars in revenue. And that is easy to understand. On top of that, there are pharma companies that make drugs versus medical device companies that make devices. So there are some nuances behind different type of companies, different type of products, and that kind of also dictates the amount that you get paid as a medical science liaison. But if you go to just different websites to take a look at the salaries, it's quite consistent how much a medical science liaison get paid in the United States. So as you can see, here is a Glassdoor website, which many of you guys use that as a source to look up salaries for a job that you're interested in. So here is an example of medical science liaison. As you can see, the total pay is around $180,000. That comes from two sources. One is the base salary, which is around $160,000, plus any additional pay is around $20,000. Additional pay can include bonuses or company stock, which might be actually a bit higher if you work for a company that is public. So there are some stock options there. But overall, on average, as this Glassdoor indicates, medical science liaison get paid about $180,000 a year. But of course, as you see, if I scroll down to top paying companies in the United States as a medical science liaison, you see the largest companies that you know in the pharma industry, right? So you have the top one, Genentech, pays about $264,000, or Takeda pays $250,000. So it's around, $250 range. And you keep going down, you have AbbVie, AstraZeneca, Bristol Myers Squibb, Teva, Novartis, all these quite big companies. They range from 210 to 230, right? So you can see it's pretty consistent that the large pharma pays a lot better than smaller biotechs, as I mentioned before. Another website people typically use is this MSLs. It is a professional group. So in the United States, people typically call it like Society of blah blah. So back then, when I was a grad student, I would go to the SFN, meaning Society of Neuroscience. It's all the professionals that work in the neuroscience field goes to that kind of conference and are part of the members within that group. Similarly, within MSL, you also have MSL Society, and they do annual salary and compensation survey. And as you can see that those are all available online. But here is just a summary of the average MSL base salary from different countries last year in 2022. You can see the US is on the bottom. It's about $182,000 versus, I think the next one will be Canada, around $130,000, or Australia, $137. Across Europe, as you can see, it's also quite consistent, with the highest in Germany around 97 euro, and Portugal 73, UK 70 pounds, France about 76, Italy about 70, Spain 65. So it's around that range of salary, but we know, yes, European countries take a little bit lower salary, but the benefits and vacation, all that is a lot better than the United States. It really varies by geographies as well, but I think this is a very accurate capture of the base salary, and this number is slightly higher than the number we just saw from the Glassdoor, as this is just the base salary. Typically, medical science liaisons take about 20% as bonus from their base salary, at least in the United States. So that will bring up the total compensation to above $200,000. And again, this is a survey result, so it depends on who took the survey. These people typically work for the large pharma, or it's a good mix of large, medium, and small biopharma companies. But with all these in mind, you can have a kind of idea what is the average salary for a medical science liaison. So you may ask, does it vary based on the years of experience? Of course, the answer is yes. But typically, as a junior medical science liaison in a large pharma company, even just with only 1 or 2 years of experience, the salary is pretty much around this number in the United States. And as you might know, that medical science liaison belongs to a larger type of work called medical affairs. And when you kind of climb up the ladder, become, let's say, the head of medical affairs or the director of medical affairs, your salary would bump up a bit, but 20% to 30% would be something reasonable. Within large pharma, of course, if you transition to other departments but related to medical affairs, then the salary might change as well. But at the higher range, I would say it'll be $350,000 to $400,000. But within one large pharma company, and there are a limited number of large pharma companies in the globe, there are very limited number of directors at very high level, right? So there is a cap, of course, within the medical affairs departments. And if you want to compare that number to, let's say, R&D, first of all, in biotech or pharma, typically the scientist position starting salary would be around, for the large biopharma company would be around $120,000 to $150,000. And it might take you a little bit longer time to climb to, let's say, head of R&D, because just the nature of the job takes a bit longer because of all the experiments that you have to do. As all of us are familiar with the unpredictability as well as some uncontrollable factors within research. And more downstream, when you talk about commercialization, consulting, then the salary range is also a little bit different. As many of you might know, as you've been watching my channel, management consultants starting salary would be similar, 120-ish, but then the ceiling is pretty high, as you all have probably heard that a partner at McKinsey can get paid $1 million, right? That is because as a partner of a management consulting firm, you're selling projects. That's a completely different skill sets. It's different from medical affairs or research. So it's not really comparable, but let's say at a manager level in a large management consulting firm, your compensation will be around $350,000, $400,000 as well. In a smaller boutique firm, maybe $250,000-ish. So it really varies, as you know, but I think with our expertise, years of training in science, as well as any other soft skills that you accumulated through various of jobs, the salary is not really a key differentiating factor here. As I always say, ultimately your goal is to find a job that you really enjoy doing, and every day when you wake up, you feel like you are not doing a job, but doing something that you really love. And that is really the message I want to deliver. And that is really the reason why I do YouTube and do this channel. I hope to help you find a path that you're really passionate about, so you can do it without any frustration, depression throughout the journey, as I've seen so many of my friends have suffered from a job that they don't like. Hopefully, knowing that no matter what job that you would like to pursue in the future as a PhD degree holder, you will get paid comfortably, and don't be afraid of finding the next chapter of your life, no matter if it is medical science liaison or consulting or research and development in a pharma company. If you like it, ultimately you will get paid fairly. So hopefully this video is helpful if you are looking for an answer about these salaries and to understand if the numbers that you found on the website is accurate or not. and a little comparison across different industries. If you're interested in such content, please let me know or leave a comment below so I can make more such salary related videos. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.